Welcome back to another episode of the Talk Your Shit Sports Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We got a special one for you. I'm here with my main man, Patrick Valdez. Peace, say what up.
What's going on, family?
It's lit, man. We got a special one. You know what I mean? Before we go ahead and get started, man, you already know what to do, man. Like clockwork, man. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Talk Your Shit Sports Podcast YouTube channel. Follow us on IG at the Talk Your Shit Sports Podcast. Follow us on Facebook, Talk Your Ish Sports Podcast. Wherever you listen to your podcast, you can find us on Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Again, you can find us on Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. It's lit, everyone. We back. We in the thick of it. I mean, this one's special, man. This is homecoming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Family.
This is like a family reunion right here.
This is lit, man. You know what I mean? We got South End's own. You know what I mean? Cathedral High State champion, South End baseball, minor league Rangers, back-to-back.
Legend.
Back-to-back, you know what I mean? Golden Globe winner, legend out here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Langham Court, all that. You know what I mean? It's lit, man. So, without further ado, we got one of Boston's best rappers, one of the young up-and-coming rappers all across this country putting out heat for you. We got our main man, Avenue, man. Say what up.
What's the word, man? It's love, man. How y'all doing? Family, everybody good?
We appreciate you, family. Appreciate you. D, you forgot you got them 6 album out, man. Don't change like that. Don't shortchange it, man. Don't shortchange it. Man. I mean, it's long overdue, man, but we're gonna go right ahead and jump into it.
Yeah, listen, I appreciate y'all having me, man. Shit. No doubt. Like you say, I'm Avenue, born and raised, South Lawn Roxbury section of Boston, 500 block of Mass Ave. You know what I'm saying? 800 block of Tremont Street. You know what I'm saying? Langham Court from West Springfield to Worcester Street to, I'm South End for real. Joseph J. Hurley.
The Hurley, baby. We there. Alums.
And then where everybody got lugged, I went to the Edison too. I got lugged up to the Edison.
I was there.
You feel me? And then back down, I did Cathedral for high school. So, I played for Dover up at Edison.
Oh, yes. That was my guy.
Yeah, I played for Dover all 3 years up there.
Wow, that's funny.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Dover, that was my guy, the gym teacher.
Yeah, that's a fact. Him and Mr. McDonald.
Yes, sir. But Av, man, listen, man, appreciate you, man. Like you said, you're South End through and through, man. Well, paint that picture for our viewers. How was it for you growing up in the South End? And let us know how your sports journey started.
Yeah. So growing up in the South End, it was really like, I don't know, it was like a TV, like one of them sitcom communities, almost kind of sort of. Every block was different, but at the same time, everybody knew each other. Everybody kind of was welcoming to each other. Everybody kind of rocked with each other. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in Langham Court. You know what I'm saying? So before I got to the 500 block of Mass, I always was at the 500 block of Mass Ave because of like family. But before I got there myself, I was over at Langham Court. So I was like a community that just kind of housed like a bunch of kids and fucking athletes. But that was like the melting pot for a lot of spaces. So it was like, a bunch of kids from the projects come down to the courtyard. We had some kids from 1850 come down to the courtyard, kids from Cathedral Square, niggas from the Villa would come down to the courtyard, Tent City. Everybody from everywhere was in this spot and in this space, you know what I'm saying? And, over the years, we just kind of would get into sports. Like I remember it being I was the youngest out of everybody in the courtyard. I was always the youngest kind of wherever I went, right? But the way that I met Keith and Kevin them and Race and them was that we all used to meet at the Hurley to play against them in like football, baseball, and everything else. You know what I'm saying? They was older than me.
Yeah.
It was like just how intense it was, like me being the youngest and having to compete with these older dudes and like just kind of stay consistent in order to be able to meet that level, that standard, to be able to be invited back to play the next week. It was like, that's kind of where I got my hunger for like sports and the competitive side. You know what I'm saying? That was like my first look into like how competitive and in the level that I could push myself to actually meet the standard.
Right. Because listen, playing with Ray, man, he hard fouls, man.
Yeah, man, he's an animal, man.
Hard fouls, man.
Yo, Ray always been a rough kid too, man. That's his thing, man. Ray always been a rough kid, man. You feel me?
That man didn't. That man never seen an argument he couldn't win.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Oh man, Ray.
But then
Shout out to Ray, wherever you are, bro. That's family too.
Yeah, shout out to the Bowens, man, the whole family.
Yeah, they were deep. They were deep. But it's dope to hear that how just the cats in the community raise your game in all aspects, man. Like as an athlete, man, that shit is so important, so important. Yeah, especially as you got older, as we get older. I mean, now we get to navigate different spaces and really know how to get after it because like we've been challenged, like we've been through the heat with cats. So that's really dope, man. Right. But tell the people, man, why basketball, man? Like what was it about the game that you fell in love with it?
You want me to keep it trill? I tried every single sport just about, right? So like I said, I stayed in this, so in the courtyard. So from young to maybe being like 11, I was in this community with everybody. I was playing South End baseball or doing Pop Warner, doing this. So I seen everybody would do all of this shit, come back, and it would just unfold right there. You know what I'm saying? So I tried every single sport. I tried baseball, you know what I'm saying? So I got my back-to-back Golden Gloves in the South and Little League.
Talk your shit.
But I realized fast that it wasn't for me. Like the Dominican niggas and the Puerto Rican niggas was throwing them curveballs was too fast. You know what I'm saying? They was throwing splitters and some more shit. Like they was doing shit that was uncalled for. You feel me?
You out of there. They was getting you out of there.
Yeah. So then people, I played Pop Warner, right? So I played out in Stoneham. Because my father had just came home from doing whatever he was doing. So he was staying out in Stoneham, staying a little bit out of the town. So I would go out there during the day, play there. Then of course I would come back to Boston and stay with my mother. But I played out there, I think it was like 2001. It was like their first year having a program or whatever the case may be. I go out there, I played head coach from the school called Bishop Fenwick. Peabody, you see me play football. I was filthy. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, I was filthy. I probably broke the record for like most touchdowns in Pop Warner out there or something like. And it's the first year because it was like I think they had like a 5-year absence. You know what I'm saying? And they came back with this program.
You was playing for the expansion team.
I was playing for the expansion team. Yeah, I was playing for the expansion team. You feel me? But it was lit though. I had the expansion team lit. Listen. Contract would have been crazy.
They would have maxed you out.
They would have maxed me out. So I had an offer. To play in high school, right? So but the thing was, it was in Peabody. So my mother didn't want to move. My mother would not move out the South End. Even to this day, she's still in the South End. She would not move out the South End for nothing. You know what I'm saying? So she was like, man, you ain't going to school in Peabody, even though it was only a half an hour from the town. You know what I'm saying? She's like, yeah, you got to stay in town. So I was like, all right, cool. So I went through the whole process of applying for the school, with being a Catholic school, this, that, and the third. And I ended up at Cathedral, right? So Bishop Fenwick was kind of like a prominent football school. Like that's their thing. That's what they known for. You know what I'm saying? Like I was kind of probably set to just go prep right up out of there. But shit, with my mother not wanting to leave out of the South End, I'm like, fuck it. I done took the test to get into this Catholic school. Let me just see what's going on with Cathedral now. You feel me? So I kind of just winged it. Ended up going to Cathedral. I played football my freshman year. So out of all the freshmen, I think it was maybe only like 4 of us that made varsity that year. You know what I'm saying? But Cathedral wasn't even that good, but I made varsity, captain of the JV team. I played quarterback. I was just doing a bunch of Michael Vick shit, throwing the ball. You know what I'm saying? But like they say, when you're doing that, you get clipped. So I got clipped one day, fractured my growth plate. Freshman year high school, fractured my growth plate. And after that, I was like, yo, fuck this basketball. That's it. So then after that point, I just dedicated all my time to ball. Cathedral was a perfect place to do it. It's a basketball school. You know what I'm saying? They got a decent tradition with ball. So, it worked out.
So tell us about your BNBL experience and dive in deeper into your experience at Cathedral.
Shit, BNBL. BNBL is crazy, man, because I actually played for Mission. I played for Mission early on, and then
which age group?
I think when I was playing for Mission, it might have been like 13 and under. But I did a few things. We won Sprite tournaments. shit, I think we did it. We won BNBL 1 year, and then I went back to play again, and then it just ended up being like a whole mix up. The whole neighborhood conflict had got into this shit, and then I just ended up going to play at Peters. When I played at Peters, I was playing for Cathedral actually. So Pokey had like a team that he couldn't technically coach because you can't really coach your high school kids for BNBL. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Shit, I just ended up running through there. We did some good shit too. Like shit, I think the Shelbourne had won that site, Peters Park, shit, like maybe like 5-10 years straight, something crazy like that. You know what I'm saying? And it was just me and Marcus. Me and Marcus would go everywhere in the city. Me and light-skinned Marcus would go everywhere in the city, just playing niggas. You know what I'm saying? I'll just be on my guard shit. He'll just be hitting his corner or his jump shots from wherever he wanted to pull from. You feel me? And so we lost to Shelbourne 2 years. And I think our second to last year, our last year playing BNBL, we knocked Shelbourne out and finally beat them. This is when they had like Bishop. So they had some niggas that played like D1 and shit. So that journey itself was crazy.
So you got this illustrious career at BNBL, man. I mean, Cathedral. I mean, like you being there, you're like so sophomore, junior, senior year, man. Tell us a little bit more about that, and just like who are some of the coaches, some of the mentors that really kept you on track, man, and that really had a major impact on you?
Larry Merritt was the athletic director. I don't know if y'all are familiar with Larry Merritt, but Larry Merritt,
shout out to Larry.
Larry Merritt, he's from down the way too, actually. I think Cathedral, if I ain't mistaken. You know what I'm saying? From the projects. You feel me? So he was one of the niggas like he was the athletic director. He actually helped me get into college. You know what I'm saying? After a lot of other shit didn't like pan out for me. I had got stabbed my senior year. You feel me? So Larry Merritt actually helped me get into a school. I went to his his alma mater. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I ended up going to Merrimack, the school that he went to. But shit, aside from him, Pokey coached me. Pokey coached me 3 years at Cathedral. You know what I'm saying? It was Pokey, Tree, and George. Pokey grew up in the South End too, ironically enough. So shit, just having people that grew up in my community, I felt like they understood me specifically a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? Because like these were guys that would see me outside of school. You feel me? And they kind of understood my background. There'll be times where they see me and they might nudge me, grab, yo, what are you doing today? Yo, come take this route with me or something like that. But I feel like that shit was important for me. But yeah, so straight from freshman year to I played JV freshman ball, and then it was varsity for the next few years. Our junior year we lost it. You know what I'm saying? So 3 out of my 4 years at Cathedral as a whole, we won the state championship. And then my junior year we lost it, and that shit was like mind-boggling after winning it 2 straight years. You know what I'm saying? Right. And now I'm the starting guard at this point. You feel me? And now it's like, for me, that shit was kind of like,
it was more personal.
Yeah, it was very personal. You know what I'm saying? The way that we lost was it was tough too. It was like a close game, like a couple last minute mistakes. So the shit really kind of ate at me. But I remember rocking with Pokey so tough, like just telling him like, yo, man, we'll be straight. Like I remember getting off the bus after we lost that game, like, yo, man, we'll be straight. We'll be back next year. And him just looking at me like, yeah, we good. I ain't even worried about it. We came back the next year and won it. And that experience was crazy.
Who'd y'all win against?
I was there. I was in the bleachers. I seen you get crossed by that white kid a couple of times, but you guys still won. You guys still won.
But listen, you got to tell them how them games were.
Yeah, them games was tough. Them games
used to be intense, man. Like we had just got the brand new gym.
Yeah.
Every game was just about. Every game was just about sold out. You know what I'm saying? Then it was crazy. There'll be people on the side underneath. Like I never experienced nothing like looking back at it. I'm like, damn, that was just something I wish I kind of could have just like really soaked up.
Right. Now it brought me back to like my Charlestown days when I was in Charlestown and watching their basketball game.
Yeah.
How packed they was when I went to your gym for your playoff game.
And that's what I always think about too, because I'm like, yo, if somebody just would have documented this, like that's that's one thing that y'all got is that it's documented. You know what I'm saying? To a certain, like, if somebody was just able to document like all of this, because the season was crazy. We had a lot of weird, like our star player couldn't play the first 10 games. He was suspended. You know what I'm saying? And he was part of those other teams that had won them state championships. And he was a reason why motherfuckers had got over the hump. I don't know if you remember the dude Max, number 15, but like he had a loose cannon. So it was like we had to go through it was just a lot of shit. But I had a lot of shit going on outside of school. You feel what I'm saying? Like school and ball was probably the absolute last thing on my mind at that point. You know what I'm saying? But when it came to that, we just kind of clicked in and focused on that. You know what I'm saying? So
no, that's pretty dope. So your senior year rolls around. So what was your mindset? Like what's running through your head at this time after graduation? Like, damn, I'm about to graduate. What's going through Ab's mind during that year leading up to graduation?
Was getting into a lot of trouble. I honestly looked at school itself as if like, I looked at that shit as if it's like going to jail or something, or vacation. So it was like, I was like, yo, I don't care what's going on. Like, I want to have fun this whole summer before I leave and go to school. You know how that is being a freshman, prepping to go to school. No matter where you're going, you're like, yo, I just want to enjoy myself. So it's like, whatever my friends are indulging into, whatever they doing, that's what I want to do. Because in a second, I'm going to just clean up real quick and be able to be on the campus and everything's going to be smooth. And that was just the absolute wrong mindset to have, because I had so much fun to the point where I was too tuned into the neighborhood. Is that when I got up to a college campus, I could not focus on anything that was going on up there. So like my stay on the college campus was like real short. You know what I'm saying? I ended up catching a case out there, catching a drug case out there, getting kicked out of there, and shit back home within a year and like 2 months, trying to get readjusted and trying to figure things out. And that's when I kind of just...
How was that process? Like getting from leaving the neighborhood, going to, you know, a different environment, and then having to come back to the neighborhood. How was that feeling?
Shit, honestly, in the beginning, it was kind of scary in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Because it is like a big readjustment process. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm on a campus where, of course, I didn't forget how to look over my shoulder 24/7, but I'm on a campus where it's like I'm the minority, it's majority white, 1% Black, or anything else. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm starting to learn and understand and see life different. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm starting to see how these people live and how, you know, how their parents own houses. Like at that point, that shit was crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, y'all own that house? That's like, that shit was the wildest shit to me now. You know, like fast forward 10 years from then, is like, that's my mindset. I'm trying to figure out how to where to put my assets and what's priority and what's not. But at that point, it was just like, it was crazy. I couldn't believe the things that I was saying. So coming back home, it was scary. I knew that I had to find something to kind of like hold on to, and just like, I had to find a new passion. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I had to find a new passion that would kind of like occupy my time, keep me out of trouble. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's where the music kind of came into play.
So like who so like that's dope, man. Like that's a real time like movie, man. Like you got this trajectory of, you know, baseball, hurling, Langham Court, the homies around, like the homies, how like you had this really close-knit community. You get the Cathedral, you ball out, you winning championships. I mean, you got a good support system. I mean, things are going on in the neighborhood, but then you get out to this campus, but then you come back. Now like you're living in these thoughts. Now you got all these thoughts, these ideas, like, where's my life taking me? You know what I mean? So that's super dope to see how that transition brought you to music. So my next question was like, who in the music game were you listening to that was really inspiring you, like from a shorty, that really got you thinking like, okay, I can really do this. I can put my life story on wax and really get to it. And like, when did you start taking it seriously?
Really Hov, to keep it true. Like I've always listened to Nas like by default. There was a lot of things
by default. My man. My man just won a Grammy yesterday.
Yeah. Not like that. Like Nas is one of my favorites. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot. Like I'm saying that because I draw that comparison from a lot of people. Sometimes like that's what they say. You feel me? So like when I say by default, like I grew up in a household with my sister. My sister's 10 years older than me. You know what I'm saying? So her taste in music was my taste in music by default. You feel me? So it's like I grew up on a lot of shit that I was just really listening to, you know, that I was really soaking in all this information and these styles from it. It didn't dawn on me until later on in life. You feel what I'm saying? But at that point, I was listening to a lot of Hov. You know what I'm saying? In his story, like American Gangster had dropped around that time when I'm in high school. You know what I'm saying? So, and you know, this is him coming off of the Black Album, Blueprint, Kingdom Come, and everything else. So I'm riding that whole run. You know what I'm saying? And then he gets to American Gangster, and then which I feel like is one of his best albums, but a lot of people slept on it. But at that point, like he kicks off the album, and it's like Mama forgive me, you should be thinking about Harvard, but that's too far away. Niggas are starving, nothing wrong with aim, just gotta change the target. And I'm soaking that up. So I'm listening to it, I'm soaking that up. I'm in high school and I'm thinking about everything and how like, and my mom, when as a kid, I'm like, y'all always want to go to like Boston College. Like, I don't know why, I just always wanted to go there. That just was something that I always want, like, yo, BC. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I'm going to BC. You feel me? You don't even know why you're saying it, but when somebody asks you, you're at that point, you're like, nigga, I'm going to BC. You know what I'm saying? But it was like,
Eagle. You want to be
an Eagle. Yo, I'm starting to, but you know, it's my junior, my senior year. I'm starting to be realistic now. It's like, I don't, you know, like, I know that this is the right thing to do, but I don't even know if this is the next step that should be for me or the step that I need to be taking. You know what I'm saying? So I was listening to a lot of Hov, taking in a lot of information, his perspectives, paying attention to the business moves that he was making. And then in the same sense, how he was putting shit together. You know what I'm saying? As far as like words and stories and how he was syncing everything together and making it sound over this like melodic music or this like soulful music that shit I remember listening to, or samples that I remember listening to as a kid driving around with my father. Like this is the shit that my father, being raised in his 60s and 70s, that he was listening to, you know what I'm saying, with me in the car riding around. I'm a shorty, but now Hov's just rapping on these shits, talking that shit that just relates to my life. You know what I'm saying? All and out in the people's lives that I'm seeing around me, you know? So.
All right. Y'all hearing it only on the Talking Shit Sports Podcast, man. We getting the insight from Av himself, man. So let's continue to get into it, P.
Listen, so you get into music, and now you're doing your thing. Like the city, you creating a buzz for yourself. Because I remember it was a summer that you was just, that everybody was just rocking Av. Everybody was listening to Av. I'm like, oh shit, this is the same little. This is. I don't. This is a little. I'm gonna give you people your gov. This is little James that I grew up with. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's little James that I grew up with that's now rapping over tracks that has a whole, you know, city on smash now. So I want you to dig in deep into your creative process. Like what helps you get to those rhymes? What helps you get to your delivery? What helps you create your music?
Shit. It really has to do with the production. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes the production just takes me to a place that I feel like I've seen before, that I could just kind of like recount. So a lot of the music is like me recounting certain things that I've seen in the neighborhood, or certain things that I've experienced with certain people in the neighborhood, or things that I've witnessed people experience. So really just a lot of it comes down to the production and just my mood. You know what I'm saying? When I'm in a creative space, I like to just take advantage of it. I don't try to force nothing creative. You know what I'm saying? I might go 6 months out the year not doing anything creatively, but you know, them 6 months, I'm just living and then trying to enjoy myself and stay stress-free. And when I hit that pocket of 2 to 4 months of just being creative, I try to just jump on it and take advantage of it. You know what I'm saying? But I just try to tell the stories in the neighborhood. Like that's just in the city. You know what I'm saying? So of course at first it was like I wanted, like when you do it, it's like at first you want to be the nigga in your neighborhood, you want to be the nigga on your street or whatever the case may be, right? So then you do that, you get that. Then it's like, all right, now you want to be the nigga in the city. You do that, you get that. Now it's like, all right, now I want to be that nigga on the coast, on the region. You feel me? So that's the thing that I'm after right now. You feel me? But at the same time, keeping it Boston. So I grew up in an era where a lot of niggas was doing the Boston shit. I kind of analyzed the way that they did it. I took like what I felt like was pros and cons from it. So from all the way back to Mike Biv and them niggas or Almighty RSO, I looked at how they did things. I said, yo, all right, I want to take this. I want to use this. The way they did that, I don't want to use that. And I kind of just try to apply it to what I do now. And then just, I try to be reminiscent too. I feel like that's another thing too. I feel like a lot of the Black history in the town hasn't really been showcased. A lot of it, they've been trying to do their best to like erase it. You know what I'm saying? Right. I try to be the vocal point for that and stay consistent with that. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it's part of my brand too. So it just falls right in place.
Now, the one thing that I like about you is that you haven't fallen into that new trend of rap, because you still rap.
Right. Yeah,
it's not no sing and dance or, you know what I mean, but you still go out there and rap.
Yeah, I'm still trying to put it together. That was like a process too, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause it's easy to get influenced by what you hear every day on the radio, but that's just kind of having an understanding of like, you know, what I'm here for. You know what I'm saying? My brand too. You feel me? And just trying to stay on brand. Sometimes I do the other shit too, man. But I'll never release it. You know what I'm saying? But it's just seriously though. But it's just
come on, drop that for us,
nah, but it's just really the exercise though. You know what I'm saying? To really exercise and to stay sharp, because you gotta exercise. This shit, rapping is like hooping or being an athlete or something. Like you really gotta stay sharp. If you ain't sharp, then there's gonna be a motherfucker that really can outwork you. That might not be as talented as you, but can outwork you. You know what I'm saying? In the sports world, there's somebody that you might have an agent that got more connections, but a nigga might be more talented. But this nigga that shook the right hands, went through the right channels, went through prep school, went to the D1 college, you know what I'm saying? And he's gonna ultimately end up getting a look. You feel me? So I'm like, I just try to keep up with the work, you know what I'm saying? But still stay true to my signature, my brand. But I play with all of that shit. Remixes, all of that. I be doing them shits. I'll write them. You know what I'm saying? And then shit, you might hear more something else that just sounds more like me. You know what I'm saying? But
so tell us. I mean, it's dope to hear you say like you make music for the neighborhood, like you tell the neighborhood stories, man. So like, going through, the Mass Ave Links album, man, I was just like, man, dude, like I literally just got flashbacks to just being on the stoop, being in the pool, being at the top, like just like it brings me back there, man. So tell us about like what came about making that project and how was it? Making music with the homie, man, 9 Cinco, man.
Oh yeah. So all right, cool. Going into the Mass Ave Linux project, Frank the Butcher did a lot of the production on there. So me and Frank were working like real tight and close knit with that project, and he was just kind of bringing me records. And then
shout out to Frank.
Yeah, shout out to Frank, man. And one record that he had brought to me was actually the Mass Ave Linux record. And as I was writing this shit, it was more so like at first I wasn't feeling it, you know what I'm saying? Because it was like that tape itself sonically was just something completely different than what I was like fully used to. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't like there's some soul in there, but it was kind of like it was more so dark. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never go that dark on the album before. So when I heard the actual Mass Ave Linux record, in my mind, I'm pinning it down. And then, I start keying this shit up. And I think I referenced Mass Ave Linux. And I'm like, yo, you know what? I want that to be the song title. And I'm like, yo, to go even further, I'm Avenue. You know what I'm saying? Just how it was brought up. I'm like, yo, to go even further, I want that to be the project title. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, too, Nip is somebody I fuck with heavy. You know, his Crenshaw album, he had a song called Crenshaw and Slauson. It was like the last song on the tape. And I always thought that that was fire, just how he told that story, the way he grew up at. So I kind of just pulled that and just made it the centerpiece of the project. But shit, doing music with Senko, man, you know, Gems, I've known Gems since shit. He was tiny, you know what I'm saying?
No, Jimmy. No, big, he's big Jimmy now.
Yeah, he's big now. He's big now, but shit. Just to kind of see his growth with him, it was just more so him reaching out, being like just seeing how curious he was. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's been so curious since he was young. I think his father, Black Jim, Free Jim, Big Jim, his father was in the music too. You know what I'm saying? So I think it kind of rubbed off on him. I think his father was having him in the studio a lot. You know what I'm saying? And when his father went down, he was like floating, but he started going into the studio a lot more. So he started sending me shit and I'm listening to his shit. I'm like, okay, each time he would send me something, it was different. So it was nothing easy. Like, I put him through a little boot camp. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, seriously.
He had to progress.
Yo, and he really stayed consistent with this shit. But during this time, it's like he's with me during everything. You know what I'm saying? So whenever he's not around me, he's probably going to the studio or doing his own thing. But the whole time I'm doing my promo runs, like, I brought him with me everywhere. So like when I did Shade 4-5 for the Mass Linux drop up at Static, he was right there with me. When we went up to Rock Nation, he was right there with me and everything. So he's just taking all this stuff, pulling whatever he wants to, and then going to make his own music. Because sonically, we make different sound of music.
Right.
But the whole time, he was just developing that, playing with it, soaking up the information, just to kind of see where he's taking his shit right now. That's fire too. You feel me? But that's how that shit kind of came about, man. He's from the neighborhood. Shit, I try not that I try not to, but I try to work with people that make sense, like people that I really have genuine relationships with as much as possible.
Now, it was just dope seeing that, because again, going back to seeing your growth and seeing where you started from and where you at now, it's like you are, I don't want to say that you're fathering a lot of people's flow, because those are two different flows, but you're opening doors for these, you know, kids that are coming after you, because, you know, Nine's younger than you. So he's obviously seeing you and seeing your progress and seeing your success. And he's probably like, yo, I can do that, because this is a guy that I've watched grow up. I mean, I looked up to him. So now he's doing music, and it's dope that you guys collabed and made that album. But as far as music in the city, like, what do you see the city going as far as musically?
I think it's up. Everything's up right now. And it's crazy because I felt like that like 5 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see like Cousin Stiz, his situation, and you got like, you know, the Joyner Lucases, and state-wise, everybody. You feel me? But right now, I feel like it's really wide open. I feel like it's really up. I feel like this is the absolute most that everybody's been, like, the industry itself, or the business, music business, has been curious in this shit in a long time. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the industry and everything shutting down, I feel like it helped too. You know what I'm saying? Because it kind of brought everybody back home. So it was we have a lot of influences that are just housed everywhere else and that move around everywhere else. So, you know, we got a lot of artists, label execs that are from Boston, or that went to the schools that are out here, that went to BU, Boston College, Northeastern. And these are people that play real big roles in the music industry and manage big artists to do something that's like intricate within that scene. But, you know, with the industry shutting down and with the pandemic, everybody had to come back home. So with everybody coming back home, everybody kind of had to grasp and pay attention to what was going on at home again. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, with that happening, I feel like shit, the sky's the limits for the town. I feel like it's something if everybody stay consistent. I feel like the shit's really about to crack open.
Super lit. So like you talked about, I mean, how, you know, competitive it was growing up playing ball, and just how consistent it was when, I mean, playing baseball, like seeing other people, how passionate they were about their sports. Now that you're in the music business, taking, you know, like you said earlier, like you were soaking up all of that information that Hov was spitting. So like right now, how are you navigating the music business? And like where are you getting your education, like your advice, the best practices from? Like, do you have a mentor right now? Like, where are you learning how to really make the most of this opportunity?
So I've been working with Frank. Frank got about 13, 12 years over me. He's in his 40s. He's an older dude that's not even just with music, but just shit, life, and then business. You know what I'm saying? Because he does other things. He has a high rollover at Reebok on the classic side, which is like their urban division. You know what I'm saying? So he handles a lot of the marketing and shit that going over there. So just kind of seeing how he's navigated over the years, handling business and just life in general. He has 2 kids that are older. You know what I'm saying? Me having a son. He has a wife. Me dealing with life and relationships and things like that. I could kind of always go to him as like a older like mentor. But shit, as far as music, other artists, interviews, I'm always watching interviews. I'm trying to pay attention to like podcasts, to like kind of hear stories of, it could be something that might have went wrong in an artist's career early. You know what I'm saying? Just to kind of see how I can avoid that, or just really trying to pay attention to the people that I really kind of like idolizing this shit. I've always idolized like a nigga like fucking Master P. Every time he drop an interview, I'm watching that shit because I always kind of idolize the way that he navigated and handled music, but also for me being a fan of Nipsey and hearing a nigga like Nipsey say that a lot of his business blueprints came from a nigga like Master P and came from whoever else, you know what I'm saying? Just really kind of being a student. Interviews, I feel like you can soak up a lot of information from like interviews, whether it be with books to read, with passages to read, or what other artists to go back and research and look up. Yeah.
That's lit, man. Because I mean, so like like the whole wave right now in the music industry, just from what I know, I mean, everyone wants to own their masters. Everyone wants to.
Yeah, for sure.
This is like not get knocked over the head by the labels, man. So like, how are you doing that with your music, and like how does that encourage you to continue to build?
We from the crib, everything from the crib. You know what I'm saying? Everything that we did from the house. I just did Brownstones, put that out. That was from the crib. You know what I'm saying? We did Mass 7 Linux from the crib. Everything was in house. You know what I'm saying? Just really trying to get with solid people, connect with solid people. If I decide to attach my brand to something, you know what I'm saying? I try to get a feel for it first. But I put Avenue ahead of anything. Like Avenue's a brand of its own before it's attached with anything else. So, of course, when you navigate in this space, when you navigate like this, it's a little bit of a longer process. You know what I'm saying? But, it pans out. I feel like we at that point where it's about to tee up.
Okay.
So.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
Listen, you made music with the best of them. You put the city on your back.
Yeah. Yo, shout out to my man Royce, Grammy nominated.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Shout out to Royce.
So what's next for Av?
This year really is just this year for me is like last year I was analyzing, doing a lot of like recording, paying attention to like algorithms, streaming platforms, seeing how it's working, everything else, like the marketing aspect of it. This year is really just more music. You know what I'm saying? This year I'm probably gonna drop the most music that I've ever dropped in a year's span. But just really kind of trying to build the catalog to, tee it up and to do the other things and to have the other conversations that I want to have. But, that's really coming from seeing how people that I feel like are my peers are moving. You know what I'm saying? I be telling people all the time, like seeing Griselda in the move, that shit crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's fire. It's inspiring. But, at the same times when they was having their first meetings and shit like that, I was doing the same thing. I was up there with them, Royce the 5'9", doing his album release party 4 or 5 years ago. I'm there with them dudes. And I say that to say that I seen the grind. So I say that to say I seen with adding a little bit more, you know what I'm saying, does. Like a little bit more consistency and a little bit more work does for you than where it gets you. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm on this year, just putting out more music, more content, more material, continuing to build the Avenue brand more than anything, some more merch.
Yeah, man. I mean, whenever you drop some, another hip whenever you drop, man, make sure you send it to us, man, so we can drop it on our YouTube channel, man. And
Sure.
I mean, however we can support, man, we here to do that, man.
Yeah, for sure.
That's all up, yo. I mean, we're all fathers here, man, and it's funny that to look like to say that now, going back 15 years ago, Cats was like,
we all fathers. I'm tired. Look, I'm tired of shit right now.
I was up at 4:00 changing a diaper, dude.
So, I mean, how is that being a father? Like, what is that like for you? Describe to people for you what fatherhood is, man, and just how are you balancing the passion for music and fatherhood?
I don't even know how I'm balancing, man. I'm just getting it done. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to get it done. Obviously, cutting the travel times to the studio and bringing the shit home and having the shit home is essential to doing that, or it helps out a lot more. But being a father is one of the best things. It's one of the best feelings. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna hold you at first. You're nervous. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really sink in until you see the head and the feet come out. You feel me? You dig? Then it gets real. Then it instantly gets real. But it's the best. It's the best experience. You know what I'm saying? I have a son, so to kind of see how he's grown up and how he's picking up on all of my character traits, whether they be good or whether they be bad. You know what I'm saying? It's fire. My son's just super respectful too. So I kind of see how he picked that up so young. Like if we go somewhere, he's saying bye to everybody. He's greeting everybody. If you do something for him, he's gonna say thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like he's gonna hold the door for you if you're behind him. So it's like just to kind of see that type of shit. It says a lot, not only about him. You know what I'm saying? But it kind of reassures and lets me know that I'm going about things and doing things the right way, and that I'm leaving a good example. So it's fire. It's fire.
It is, man. It is.
It's fire.
Excellent, man. Yeah, like so. Where we at? All right. I mean, before we go into our break, man. I mean, like going through your work, man. Like all your projects, man. Like I'm just super proud of you, man. I mean, it's vibing. I'm vibing in the whip. You know what I mean? I'm vibing in the whip. You know what I mean? It's banging. So like, I mean, I don't know if you mean off the top, man. I mean, if you want to give the people a little something, you know what I mean? Zeros, if you, I mean, no pressure. You know what I mean? No pressure. You know what I mean?
They gave me the full flex.
You know what I mean? I just want to give you my sway.
I ain't gonna hold you. I got material all day, but I ain't gonna hold you. I've been like recording all day long.
Now you good?
Dead. You good? Yeah, no funny shit. Look, I got them all day though.
I was trying to plug and see if we get the exclusive room.
He's trying to get the exclusive.
You know I mean? Some hot shit. That's all.
I got them all. Hey, come here.
Oh man.
That's how we do. Look, he got you. He got the 16 for you right here.
What up, little man?
What's going on? Oh, can't hear you.
What's up?
What up, little man? Welcome to the podcast, bro.
Okay.
That's dope.
You gotta go to bed now. It's late.
All right, man. I mean, we're gonna power through, man. We're not even gonna take a break, man, because it's getting late. So let's just go ahead and power through, man. So every week, man. I mean, no matter what, man, I get on here and we trying to give our Black history highlight, man, like a Black athlete, man, that's just done, just wonders for his sport, his or her sport, and just the community, man. And I mean, this past week, sad to say, the marvelous Marvin Hagler, I mean, three-time world champion. I mean, he passed away this week, man. But I mean, he was more so known for the three fights that he had with Roberto Duran, Thomas Hitman Hearns, and my man Sugar Ray Robinson. But the fight with Thomas Hearns was known as "quote unquote" the fight, man.
That's one of the greatest fights of all time, man.
Fights all time, man. Like they call that the three most, like the best 3 rounds in boxing history. They call that, man. Because as soon as the bell rang, them boys was
Yo, sweating Jerry curls. Yo, son, they was banging.
It was tremendous, man. But shout out to Marvin Hagler, man. He started boxing at the age of 15. He actually lied about his age to start his amateur career, man. Because at the time, back in the 60s, you had to be 16 years old to start boxing. my man lied on his application, said, yo, I'm 16, even though he was really 15. And then in 3 years of training, that man won the national AAU at 165 pounds at the age of 19. So homeboy was just a straight warrior, a straight dog from the beginning, man. He had a 55-1 record, and he won gold in the United States National Championships in 1973. And in 73, that's when he started his professional career, man. And once he did that, man, he got started immediately. I mean, so in 79, he won his first world championship. And then for 5 straight years until 85, I mean, he was just he was undefeated for 5 straight years. He held the WBA, WBC, and he was the ring champion of that era. So like once he fought Duran, he beat Duran. Duran was, known as,
most feared.
Hearns is definitely one of the greatest all-time boxers, man. We salute you. We salute your family, man. We keep you in your
bro.
Salute you, bro.
So yeah.
All right, man. So
from the state.
Yeah, man. So you mentioned on our call, that MJ is your favorite player. Talk to us about what MJ did for your game, watching him grow up, and how you felt about The Last Dance.
Oh, the last dance was funny, man. I don't know how I feel about The Last Dance. I feel like it was fire, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like Jordan did kind of throw a couple niggas under the bus that he probably shouldn't have, you know what I'm saying? But I grew up on Jordan. He was a standard, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, that era of, the music when the Bulls is coming out, you feel what I'm saying? He got on the black sneakers with the white uniforms when niggas wasn't, you know what I'm saying? The way he was just doing it, the way he was doing everything, it was just crazy. Your father called you in for the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter, like, yo, watch this, and he really pull it off and do some crazy shit. But just seeing him compete early, like that's been the standard for so long, you know what I'm saying? Up until, I don't know, maybe like, what was it, last month when Tom Brady got the 7, the 6, 6 rings. You say 6 rings, you already know. You don't even got to say, the man. So my whole lifetime up until, like I said, last month, that's what it was. So just seeing how he competed on everything that he did and how he pushed was like, how could you not look at that and not be inspired by it,
All right, so between him and LeBron, who's the greatest?
Between him and Braun, let me tell you where I'm at, right?
Come on, man, talk your shit.
I'm born 91, so I really ain't an old nigga, you know what I'm saying? So like, so I love Jordan and I witnessed Jordan, but I'm really watching LeBron and living through LeBron. I feel like they both great, just different eras, man. I feel like I'm one of them niggas. It's like it comes down to that era of ball.
Right. But you can't go over Kobe, though. Can't forget Kobe. I'm not even a Kobe fan, so you have to throw Kobe in the equation.
You like with Kobe, it's more so with Kobe is I feel like Kobe was like that traditional ball play, right? So I feel like even though Kobe was part of that time, I feel like Kobe was really part of that time. Like he was like really the last glimpse and the last bit of that. But I feel like when you look at the thing with Braun that you can't deny is his body, no homo. You know what I'm saying? Like the amount of work that he puts into his body, and then his numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like his stats, but also his body allows him to put up those numbers. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, it'll be unfair because it's like a nigga like Jordan would be like, nigga, I'm done playing this shit. I'm gonna go play golf or baseball for a year or two and then come back. And it's like, so to compare them it's tough, man. You know what I'm saying? Like Kobe got robbed a few years. You know what I'm saying? Steve Nash back-to-back MVPs. Those should have been Kobe's. You know what I'm saying?
Wicked.
But that's what I'm saying. It comes down to the time and the era and how you key everything, you know? But I don't know. That's tough, man.
It's all good. All right. So right now, who are you watching in the NBA right now, and who do you think is going to win the championship?
I mean, the Nets are going to win it.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that ain't.
Think that was a question.
Yeah, I hate to say it. but the Nets are going to win it. KD's one of my favorite players to watch. He's always been. Kyrie too. But right now I'm really watching. Who am I watching? I'm watching Portland. Yeah, I'm watching the Celtics, and I'm watching a lot of Portland. I love Damian Lillard. I've been fucking with Dame since he got into the league. So I'm watching a lot of them. CJ McClellan's back tonight. You know what I'm saying? So watch a lot of Portland.
I just feel like Portland, man, they're out in the West. I feel like they're just missing something in that team. I mean, Nurkic is always hurt.
Always, yeah.
Always hurt. I don't know. I just want Dame to at least win one. So I'd rather him get out of Portland. But he has that old school mentality. He wants to win with his team.
That's what I like about it. I kind of like that.
I mean, it's dope. I fucks with it. I mean, I was an AI fan. You know what I mean?
Same thing.
I was an AI fan, and it's just like watching him leave the game without a ring, it hurts me. You know what I mean? I don't want to see a good talent like Dame get out the league without one. Because he be cooking.
Yo, but the thing too about the league and about the NBA is like, nigga, shit. The way that rings are, you know what I'm saying? It sucks, but I be looking at it now and it's like, is a ring even that important right now? You know, of course it's important to the players, right? You know what I'm saying? But with so many dudes getting these championships and the way that they're going about doing it, it's almost like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right? I mean,
man, I feel like they kind of tainting the value of these rings, dog. Where it's like,
with the super teams, you don't like the super teams? You don't like the
I don't like the super teams, man. I like how last year was like an even playing field. Like it was like spread out for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you know, Brooklyn was a little bit different. They still had injuries and shit like that. So they came back just overstacked. You know what I'm saying? But I liked it like that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it was a toss-up. I feel like you couldn't really tell me up until, you know what I'm saying, the playoffs and the bubble started that LeBron and them was really going to win it last year, even with Anthony Davis. Like, it wasn't like guaranteed. I watched them play out the Garden last year, and they got smacked by the Celtics. You know what I'm saying? No bullshit. So that was kind of like reminiscent of that era that niggas grew up on, where it was like, nigga, we seen Iverson, right, go crazy forever. But then we seen Iverson get Mutombo. Now, when that nigga got Mutombo, that nigga was in the finals, you know what I'm saying? And it was just them two, you know what I'm saying? But it was just a level playing field all across the board. Like, them niggas still had to get past.
I mean, it was
but before then,
before then, the East was tough. He had to get past Brooklyn. They had to get past, I think there was New Jersey.
They had to get past, I think Reggie Miller and Jaylen Brown. They had to get past Jason Kidd and fucking Kenyon Martin.
And then Vince Carter in Toronto.
And Vince Carter in Toronto. Yeah. So it was like, but that's every team. Like, that's how it was just spread out across the league. It was crazy like that.
So right now, I mean, the three young guns, the 1, 2, 3 picks, man, Anthony Edwards, LaMelo, and Wiseman, man, they're all balling, man. And you know, Anthony Edwards is coming through the lane straight, you know,
going crazy.
Banging on your neck, and Melo's out here is just looking like a young Magic Johnson. So, like, I mean, what's the projection? Like, what can these dudes accomplish in the league?
Shit. Anthony Edwards, I like him, man. I like his game a lot. He's strong. He's straightforward. You know what I'm saying? A to B or A to Z. What he's gonna do in the league, I don't know. It's hard to tell. Like, this league shit is so weird. It's like you gotta stay healthy. You know what I'm saying? But his trajectory, shit, I can see him really competing. I can see him getting that team to the playoffs at some point, getting the Timberwolves to the playoffs in those conversations, maybe past the first round. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But shit, I'm Melo, man. I like LaMelo.
Yeah,
I like him, man.
He's tough, man. I like watching him now. Like, he's grown on me. Like,
I like watching him, man. But I feel like it's set up a little bit more for him than Anthony Edwards. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, you know what I'm like. Of course, for him, I don't know, possible MVP talks, conversations down the line. Like, the league set up for, like, they want to see him succeed right now. So that camera's in front of him, and he's been a star, man, since he was like 13, 14.
Right.
You feel
And
me? So
And I feel like with Edwards, I mean, everything still ran through Anthony Towns. I mean, he's
Yeah.
still as long as he, I mean,
Yeah.
as long as he's there, everything's gonna be run through him.
but
So-
I think it's definitely worth looking at and making some adjustments because he's good.
Would you keep them together, or are you trading Anthony Towns?
I would definitely keep them together. I would try to keep them together and try to get them to like coexist with each other and make it work. I haven't been like watching too many of their games. You know what I'm saying? To really tell you how their chemistry is. But from what I've been seeing, like talent wise, I would try to keep them together for the most part. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm not a humongous fan of Towns. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not a fan
Like
of
Jimmy
Towns.
Butler said, I feel like the nigga soft. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like,
Right. They're calling grown men soft.
I feel like the nigga soft. You know what I'm saying? But you know,
But I feel like LaMelo down there in Charlotte, like it's just free range. He can do whatever
that's
he wants.
free
out there.
reign. Yeah.
Like MJ is just like, yo, just go out and play. Just go out and play.
And he's living up to it. You know what I'm saying? Which is the most important thing is like he's living up to it and he's coming through, man. He's performing, he's hitting clutch shots, he's passing like a motherfucker.
Right.
He's defending somewhat.
The whole team is young, and I think that's a great synergy for him, man. Because I think if he was on a team with a lot of vets, they'd be trying to punk him and like slow him down. But like he had a whole bunch of young cats. But them cats is like, all right, yo, we here with you, dog. We running up and down. Let's get it.
Right.
Imagine him playing with a LeBron like his brother was. Like LeBron wants to be the guard. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, bro, like he's the nigga that needs that ball. And they got 3 guards over there. They got 3 good point guards.
Terry,
over there.
scary Terry.
Yeah. And they got the kid. And they got Graham, I think his name.
Yeah. Graham.
And he's good too, but they were all working the ball and moving that shit around, and it's working for them. So it's dope.
Man, I mean, we're gonna switch over to football, man. I mean, Cam resigned, and the Pats made a whole bunch of signings today in free agency, man. What do you think about Cam last year and this year?
I was one of those that was souping the Cam Newton thing up. You know what I'm saying? I was ready for it. I feel like he also came into a situation that he kind of knew was stacked against him. I feel like everybody did. You know what I'm saying? Like we knew that we weren't like overly stacked. That's why Thomas wasn't trying to stay. You feel me? So it was like, you know, I feel like he came. I feel like he came in. He took the hits. I feel like we made some good signs today though.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We built up the O line, the D line. We still gotta go get like a stretch receiver, somebody that can.
Now they got Galloway. They got what's his name?
Nelson Aguilar, and they got
Aguilar.
The tight end.
And the tight end.
And he born good. And they still got their running backs, man. So they going like it's gonna be up, man. We're
gonna be decent. We're gonna be good, man. We're gonna be good. I feel like we'll be straight to shit. I still believe in Cam, man. You know what I'm saying? I would like to see him throw that ball a little bit more. I feel like Bill was really trying to run his legs into the ground, but that was the only option that they had. Their receivers was trash this year.
Right.
So,
they didn't have no receivers. They didn't have no tight end, no off season. But I think Cam's gonna be all right, man. You give him an off season, you rebuilt that offensive line, you give him a tight end, you give him a guy that can stretch the field, and you got those running backs. He's gonna be all right, man. I think the Pats, they'll make the playoff next year.
Yeah, they'll be straight.
Yeah, man. All right, man. We almost out of here, man. Like, man. So I mean, we always ask everyone on here, like we go through like this list, man. You got to give us one. So you got Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Serena Williams, Mayweather, Hank Aaron, Tiger Woods, Muhammad Ali, Walter Payton. Who's the greatest athlete of all time?
The greatest athlete of all time.
All time, one.
That's tough, man. I don't know, man. That's a tough one.
Talk your shit, fam. Talk your shit.
That's a tough one. All right, cool. So let's do it like this, right? So in the household that I was brought up in, my mother's from Louisville, Kentucky, went to the same elementary school, middle school as the nigga, grew up around the corner, is from his family. Muhammad Ali is the greatest athlete in the history of sports. That's just how I was brought up. You know what I'm saying?
Like a
What he-
butterfly, sting like a
what he
bee.
represented,
I'm a
you know what
young
I'm
man
saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? What he represented, especially how it you know, the things that all these athletes are doing today, man, you're gonna have that blueprint if it wasn't for Muhammad Ali. You feel what I'm saying? Like what he stood for, it's a lot of the shit that we're still facing and dealing with today. He really was like, man, I ain't going to fight for this fucking country. I don't believe in the way that this country is ran and how things are organized and set up against Black people. Once you start figuring things out for Black people, then I'll figure something out. And then he'll still go in there talking shit and knock your head off. You know what I'm saying? Like that doesn't take away from the fact that he really was a heavyweight, like fighting at a style that was rarely seen by heavyweights. You know what I'm saying? That's what I didn't realize until I started to get into boxing. Like he was really skating around the ring as a heavyweight, like
just looking like fast. One of those like them lightweights, like like welterweight, like a Mayweather,
like a Mayweather or something. Absolutely.
Condition at an all-time level. For the big boys.
Running laps, sparring in a swimming pool. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, Muhammad Ali, the greatest athlete of all time. To me, that's just how I was brought up. That's my household. My mother's from Louisville, Kentucky. You feel me?
Shout out to Mama Av. Shout out to Mama
Av. All right, man. IP, let's get into it, man. What's your moment?
What the fuck moment of the week, man? I mean, I was watching all these college basketball games. I mean, I love my college basketball. I was looking at the brackets. Where's Duke? Where's Kentucky? Like, come on, what happened to the Blue Bloods? Like Calipari, you've been recruiting all these 5-star athletes, and you failed to make it to the tourney. Like, come on.
But are they blaming COVID? I've been seeing a couple teams blame COVID. I know that they might be pulling out.
Yeah, they talking about COVID. Duke's talking about COVID. Duke is they've just been trash all season. I'm a North Carolina fan, so I'm happy. I'm good. Right. I'm good. I'm happy not seeing them in the tournament anyways.
All of them programs about to crumble anyway.
Yeah. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. I think
that's another thing I was talking to my man about. I'm like, man, with a nigga like LaMelo Ball, where players have done it before, you know what I'm saying? But yo, the things that LaMelo Ball is really doing, he's changing the actual process of the sport to the point where it's really gonna be starting to be ran like a European organization. You know what I'm saying? To the point where it's like, yo, from the age of 13, they're gonna be like, yo, this nigga's special. All right, cool, man. You don't gotta go to school no more. Just do this. You know what I'm saying? And you'll be a pro, and we'll work you through this, that, and the third.
Like Luka. That's exactly what they did with Luka.
Yeah.
Right. Bro, he was a pro at 16.
Yeah, that's the European style. That's the shit that Kobe was talking about this whole time. Like, yo, why are these kids, why are you waiting until they get to college to get with a Coach K to learn fundamentals, and they're only doing it for 1 year?
Right.
So up until then, everybody's relying on skill and just natural God-given talent. And when you get up to these colleges, you're doing 1 year fundamental basketball, and then you're fucked. You know what I'm saying?
No,
I get these kids in the D League, really have a development league. They're starting to put more money into it.
Right. Speaking of the D League, you look at the number one high school recruit, Jalen Green. He went the D League route, and he was out there cooking. So it's like, for the next couple of years, like these blue blood schools, they're fucked. Because now you're looking at these kids looking into HBCU. Shout out to
that's another thing too, yeah.
Right. Shout out to Deion Sanders doing the HBCU thing. They might take the LaMelo route, the LaMelo on ball route. So it's like you don't have to go to college. Because you're not making a business. I mean, you're not making.
I think you both need to slow down.
I'm telling you.
No. And here's why. Because you gotta understand, the NBA is only 1% of all the basketball players in the world. So the G League is even smaller. So there's only a certain number of cats that can go to the G League. So you still got to go to college. Not everyone who's going to the league can actually go to the G League. I mean, there's only a certain. If you're a top
100 recruit on ESPN's list,
you're not finishing anyways.
listen, you can go overseas, you can go to the D League, you're good.
You
Because-
can get money. You can get money.
Right. Like they don't like, because listen, Dave, once you're in that one top 100, you're good. Because scouts are gonna be looking for you. I mean, whether it's college, whether it's the D League, whether it's overseas, they're gonna be looking at you. So if you anybody under, like, if you're a number of fucking 120, nigga, go to college. But if you're in a 1 through 100, you're good.
Okay, yeah.
I mean,
101, go to college.
Go to college. 101, nah. Go to college.
I mean, all right, man. Y'all got it, man. All right, man. All right, man. So before we get out of here, man, what we like to leave the people with like some inspirational, man. So something that you want to impart on the people, man, on the youngsters coming up, man, or like anybody out here just really getting to it, man, and really grinding, man. So you want to leave the folks with some motivation?
Sick. Yeah, for sure. Really just stay consistent. If you out here doing something, just stay consistent with it. Consistency opens up more doors than anything, I feel like. You know, so whatever you doing, I don't care what you doing. My grandfather told me, I don't care what you doing, if you robbing banks, if you whatever you're doing, if you're selling dollar newspapers, be the absolute best at it and be consistent. That's the way that you're gonna work yourself into a routine that can't be matched by anybody else. And ultimately that makes you unreplaceable.
I definitely agree with that.
Got P.
I would say just love something, because once you love something, behind that love comes, that drive, that passion, something that you're gonna wake up every morning, not mind doing every single day. So it's like, I mean, whether it's if you love flipping burgers, love that and just be the best fucking burger flipper in the world, but just love something. Because with that love comes passion, comes drive, comes, peace of mind. Because I feel like that's important in this world, especially during this pandemic and all that.
Yeah, man. I mean, everything is a process. From the start to the end, man. Like you have, like once you get in the middle of it, in the thick of it, man, and it gets hard, it gets challenging, man. I mean, there's 100 excuses out there for you not to finish what you're doing. So finish what you start. Don't quit when it gets hard, and really keep your head up, man. Because you have to expect it. You have to expect whatever you're doing, whatever your process is, it's going to get tough. It's going to get hard. You're going to get challenged. Like you're going to get knocked on your ass. You got to get back up and just don't quit. I mean, that's what we got for you guys tonight. I mean, you guys tune into a special episode of the Talking Shit Sports Podcast. We got a legend right here, a legend right now. Avenue. One of the best, one of the brightest. Go listen to the new project, Brownstones. Go listen to all those projects. It's out there right now on every platform. We rocking with you. I'm saying we support you, man. And we appreciate you coming on here and talk your shit, man. We really appreciate you, dog.
Nah, thank you, dog. I appreciate y'all, man. I see y'all stay consistent with it. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna go crazy for y'all too.
All right, man. We definitely gonna need you to pull back up with some rhymes, though. We gotta get you about to spit. At some point. But I'm gonna let you slide out of here without that, though. I need that exclusive joint.
Oh, D, you want to be featured in one of the tracks? You got a couple of bars yourself, right?
just hit me.
What you got for me, D? What you got?
Let's switch it up. You drop. But I think we run out of time. We run out of time, so I gotta get out of here. We gotta get out of here. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Talk Your Shit Sports Podcast. You can find us on YouTube at the Talk Your Shit Sports Podcast YouTube channel, where you can find all our content, all our episodes, man. Really lock in and learn the journeys of all our guests, man. And tonight we had a special one, man. We had Avenue on here. So you can find us on Facebook at the Talk Your Ish Sports Podcast. Wherever you listen to your podcast, you can find us on Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Again, you can find us on Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. And ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. Peace.